ready for this one? Greek Easter biscuits. Oh, we're just going to get straight into it today. Okay, so the first thing we need is 125 grams of butter. You want to chop it up, cover it up, and let it sit there until it gets to room temperature and the butter is nice and soft. Now, I'll write the recipe below as always for you guys to make it easy for you. So we're going to need a couple of eggs, some vanilla extract, we need an orange to get some orange rind, sesame seeds, caster sugar, and self-raising flour. Now, once the butter is at room temperature, you want to get out as many cookie trays as you've got. If you've only got one, we'll work with that. If you've got more than one, get them out, put some baking paper on them, preheat our oven at 180 degrees Celsius, and let's smash into it. Okay, into our butter, we want to add 1 1/4 cups of caster sugar, 2 eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Now we want to get out our electric beater and we want to beat it up until it's thick and creamy. Once we've got it thick and creamy, set it aside for a minute, grab our orange and a small grater, grab a plate. Now we want to grate 2 teaspoons of the orange rind. So when we do it, we just want to grate the orange off. You don't want to get too deep into the white, okay? So we'll say the rind of an orange, that'll make it easy for you guys. Okay, so put that into our butter mix and then stir it in really well. Oh mate, that smells so nice with that orange rind in there, yummo. Okay, so the next thing we do is we get 4 cups of self-raising flour and put it in there. Now we want it exact. We don't want it tumbling over the top and we don't want it low, okay? We want exactly 4 cups in there. Now we need to mix it in really well. So for the first few minutes, we'll mix it like this. And then once it's starting to get really thick, because it's basically going to be a crumbly dough. So once it starts getting really thick, get the back of your spoon and push down like that as you mix. Okay, now we're getting to the stage where it's too thick to mix. So now you push down with the back of the spoon and you just keep going round and round and doing it until there's no flour left. Get ready, it's a workout on your arm. Now once we've got it into a crumbly dough like that, a lot of people just leave it like that, but I like to just try and get it into one lump. So sort of just squeeze it in together, not too much, just fold it in a little bit as you're getting it into one lump. I think it just helps it not dry out as quick. Basically just like that, okay? I'll get my hand out the way so you can see, alright? So once you've done that, the first thing we're going to do is get a clean tea towel. So while we're rolling them, we need to put a tea towel over the top to try and stop it going dry while we're doing it. Now I'll move that out of the way, just in my hopes you can see. Yep. Okay, so we get a tablespoon measurement. You know, we want to get out 1 1/2 tablespoons. So just scrape out at 1 1/2. Cover it back up. Okay, so first thing we want to do is just keep squeezing it in our hands. Just for about 10 seconds. So we're just kind of not kneading it in our hand. Okay, when it's like so, roll it into a ball. Once you've rolled it into a ball, start rolling this way for a minute until we get it into a bit of a log. Now we put it down. I just want to make sure you're in view. I'll try and do it that way. So you roll and slowly pull outwards as you roll. And you want to get them as long as, see how my fingers are just spread out a little bit? Like that. That's how long you want to get them. Alright, bend them over like this. I'm just checking to make sure you're in view. Alright, cross one over and then all you want to do is tightly, is just twist them. 1, 2, 3 times, it doesn't matter. Alright, so but your nice tight little twists, okay? Then you sort of mould the ends in together, pick them up like that. Mine always come out different. I try to do them short. I probably did that one a bit too long, but that's what I mean. It doesn't matter. Alright, now if you've got a tray with baking paper, if you've got 2 of them or 3 of them, you can just load them all up. Now if you don't, the best thing to do is to put out a big piece of baking paper on the table, and as you roll them, put them all on there, and then when you're taking your tray out, you can carefully pick them up and put them on if you've only got one tray, and keep going that way. Alright, I'm going to just tell you a little story, because you know what it's like. I've always got a story with the food that I do. Okay, so these Greek biscuits remind me of when I was really young. A really young teenager. Alright, many moons ago. So if you're around my age, you would have gone to high school and it would have been Aussies and wogs. So you were either an Aussie, a Greek or an Italian back then. So there was a lot of nunas we went to and we used to have these biscuits, and that's what they remind me of. And for years I never knew what they were called and that, and I just stumbled across it about a decade ago and I've never looked back since. So a nuna in Italian means grandmother and nunu means grandfather, and in Greek nunu means godfather and nuna means godmother. Okay, then we do it roll. So yeah, so we had lots of wog mates. So don't forget I'm half wog. I've got Greek running through my veins. Okay, half, flip it over, nice and tight, twist. Now these, when you put them in the oven, they absolutely spread right out. So make sure you've got them nice and spread out on your tray. So we want to kind of do it as fast as we can because it does start to dry out and then it's hard to roll. So I had this Greek teacher for typing and she was absolutely freaking awesome. And so when we used to learn to type in high school, we would have those big old, big old typewriters. And what she would do, she'd get a piece of paper and she would cover the whole keyboard with it and tape it there, and we would have to have our hands underneath the paper and learn how to type without looking. That's how we, you did your typing without looking, you did your 1,000 words per minute or whatever crazy stuff it was. And she'd walk around with a ruler, and if you were peeking under and having a look, you wouldn't even see her coming. She was like stealth mode all the time. And she would crack you so hard on the back of your hands here with a ruler if you were looking. So we learnt to type really, really well, really, really quick. She was also my shorthand teacher too, and I bloody loved shorthand. Me and my girlfriend used to be able to write anything we wanted to, and our parents never knew what we were talking about. It was bloody brilliant. So the first few I did too long. So see how I've done it, but I'm not doing them too long now. I just wanted to put a couple on there just to show you how, when they cook, how they go when they're too long anyway. That's exactly how you want them. So instead of spreading them right out, you want your fingers a little bit spread out, and you want them to try and be that length. These are a lot of fun to do with the kids and that too. So for these Greek Easter biscuits, what they would do, from what I can gather, so anyone Greek Aussie out there can tell me if I'm wrong. So they would make these, and apparently for Easter they all fast like a lot of the world does. And on, I think it's Sunday night is the Easter Mass. And once they get back from that at midnight, they would eat these biscuits. And that's what they were for, after Mass at midnight. Alrighty, so today I made 23, I've got out of it. Now I just wanted to show you, okay. So there's the first couple, and I've made them too long. I've done one here that's too loose. So what I'm going to do is leave them like that anyway, just to show you how they cook. But everybody's the same, okay. So that's the first lot. And then by the time you get to do your second lot, you start working it out properly, and you get to do them a bit tighter and stuff, and everybody's the same, alright? It's easy to do. You'll get the hang of it by the second lot, and if you're going to make a couple of batches, you'll be a pro at the end. But this is how we want them in the end, nice and tight rolls. Okay, we'll get the first lot first. Our oven's preheated. So now what we want to do is we want to get out just a little cup or something with some water in it, and a pastry brush if you've got one, and have your sesame seeds ready to go. Alrighty, if you've got a pastry brush, I do one at a time because I like to get the sesame seeds on before the water sort of disappears into it. Alright, so pastry brush your water on. Grab your sesame seeds straight away, and over the top they go. Now, if you don't have a pastry brush, just dip your fingers in and wipe it over. It's no big deal. Alright, once you've wiped it over, use the other hand because it's wet obviously, and quickly get your sesame seeds on. And we want to just do that with the first batch we're about to put in. Once we've sesame seed them all, we're going to bang them in the oven for up to 20 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. Everybody's oven's different. I've got a shitty electric one. I'll tell you in a sec exactly how long they took. Oh yeah, baby. Now while they're in and cooking, you do all the rest of them. Water and sesame, water and sesame. Oh baby, my kitchen smells awesome. Okay, exactly 19 minutes in my electric oven. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. Oh my god, mate. Alright, we're going to bang our next batch in. Okay, so see when you do them long, there's nothing wrong with them. They're still good. Okay. When you do them loose, there's still nothing wrong with them. They're still good. But we're going to put the next lot in that I've done nice and tight, and you'll see how beautiful they look when you do them tight. Okay, so now if you've got a cooling rack, put them all onto a cooling rack. If you don't have a cooling rack, just go onto the table or bench somewhere. Just grab your paper, slide them out onto it, put your next lot on your tray, and away you go. Oh, did I tell you how beautiful they smell? Here is our second batch. See, they look just a little bit prettier, but it really doesn't matter. You get your kids to do them with you, have a ball with it. Who cares what shapes they do them in? Oh, now, some people like to eat them hot. I love eating them cold. There we have it, lovelies. Greek Easter biscuits. A lot of fun to make, taste absolutely amazing, smell beautiful, just awesome. Now, if you put them in an airtight container and say you make them on the Friday, they'll last all long weekend, no problems. So once they've gone completely cold, I always keep my chocolate tins and that for biscuits all the time. I put a bit of baking paper in the bottom just because my nana always does, so I do. And like I said, once they're cold, you can put them in a tin. These are all for the neighbours. And yeah, and they're all good to go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have yourselves an awesome day, and I will see you really soon. Bye.